Ms. Singh co-founded Organ India as an initiative of the Parashar Foundation in 2013. So can you actually tell us a little more about Organ India?
So it was founded in 2013.
I think you would definitely face some challenges on the way. So what are some of these obstacles?
Organ donation had a very negative connotation with a lot of people still. The press was not covering it like they do now.
There's lots of negative connotations associated with organ donation.
I won't say people have myths, but they definitely have misconceptions, like you said. And those can be easily driven away by explaining that what actually happens.
As we all know, India is the most populated country in the world with a whopping 1.4 billion people. But what most people don't know is that India has one of the lowest rates of organ donation. There are lakhs of people on the organ donation wait list, and each day, 20 people die waiting for organs that could have saved their lives. This revelation is what led me to start Saahas, an initiative to raise awareness about this crucial topic of organ donation. In June, we did our first awareness campaign where 13 volunteers pledged to be organ donors. In continuing our journey to raise awareness about organ donation, I'm joined by Ms. Sunayana Arora Singh, the CEO of Organ India. Ms. Singh co-founded Organ India as an initiative of the Parashar Foundation in 2013 and has since then led them to great heights. It's a pleasure being here with you today, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Navya, for inviting me. And I'm so glad you're taking this up as a project. There's a lot of awareness needed on organ donation, and kids like yourself doing this is a great thing.
Thank you, ma'am. So I've heard a lot about the World Transplant Games. I heard India did really well last year when they were managed by Organ India. Can you tell me a little bit about these games?
Yeah, sure. So we are the team managers for the Indian contingent that goes to the Transplant Games, and we became team managers in 2021. So after that, the next games were in Australia in 2023, and it fell to us to get a team together first of all. Get them funding, figure out how we are all going to go to Australia. It's quite far and it's difficult, and plus get them trained. So we got together a group of 32 people eventually. It was a 32-member contingent, which was made up of transplant recipients and living organ donors, right? So even living donors can participate.
Right.
And we eventually went to Australia. We won 35 medals in various sports. We did really well and came back. And the reason why transplant games are so important is because when all the players come from different parts of India, right? So they come from different communities, they come together, they go out and play, they win, they do well, and they come back and they go back into their communities. And there they are received with a lot of love, a lot of fanfare. They are, people are so proud of them. Because they are sports persons, and that leads to more awareness on organ transplants, organ recipients, and organ donation. People go in their various villages and towns hear about how an organ donation led to an organ transplant for this player, and then he or she went and won a medal for the country. So that whole thing gives it a very positive outlook. People get to know about organ donation, spreads a lot of awareness, and also tells people that after transplants, you can have a very fit and a very healthy life, which is one of the biggest aims of the World Transplant Games and any transplant games, right? But people shouldn't think that just because they've had an organ transplant, now they have to lead a very sedentary life. They can't do anything. All these players, they prove that you can get up, you can get back to sports, you can do really well, you can even win at a national level and at an international level. That experience was fantastic. The players are amazing, and they give us a lot of inspiration, to continue our work.
Right, that's really impressive, ma'am. And I'm sure it's really inspirational for people to hear about and really motivates them to talk more about organ donation.
Definitely.
So can you actually tell us a little more about Organ India? How was it founded and what are your aims?
So it was founded in 2013. Our own chairperson, Mrs. Kirti Parashar, who was chairperson at the time, she needed a heart transplant. And, her daughter, Anika, who's now the chairperson, Anika Parashar, she and her, the entire family went trying to figure out how to get a transplant, right? Where do you go? What is the process? Is there going to be a donor available? They didn't know anything. Who are the hospitals, who are the doctors, all of that. So eventually, they figured out that they went to Chennai. They were told that in the south, the whole process is easier. Already, all the processes are in place. So they went to Chennai. They registered. Kirti had to register herself there for a heart transplant, and she had to stay there. Because after organ donation, the heart has to be transplanted very quickly.
Right.
So it will be better if you're in the same city. So she actually had to stay there for 5 months. It was very difficult. Obviously, family had to keep going back and forth. Someone had to be with her. And eventually, thanks to an organ donor, a very generous family, she did get a heart transplant in December 2013, and she was home a month later. And that time she used to wear a mask, because initially after the transplant, you have to be very careful. You cannot get any infection or anything. So she used to wear a mask at that time, which we all used to find very strange. But of course, after COVID, we're all very used to wearing masks. And now we understand why she had to do that, And she was perfectly fine for 5.5 years. She was doing really well. She was traveling. She was doing everything. And we started Organ India before even she got her transplant. Because Anika, her daughter, was like, there's so many people who don't have what we have, and they don't have any knowledge about what to do, where to go, all of that. So I want to, start something. So then Organ India was created as an initiative of the Parashar Foundation. So the NGO name is Parashar Foundation, and the project is Organ India. So that's how we started. And basically, we do two things: awareness, and we help patients, and we help families who try to figure out what's happening. We have a helpline. We tell them how to. We have some online tools on our website to help people navigate the system and figure out, which are the hospitals where you can do organ donation. How do you get in touch with them? All of that. And of course, awareness like radio, schools. We do a lot of talks. We do a lot of corporate campaigns. So all that we do.
This is a really great initiative, ma'am, and I'm so glad that you're able to educate and help raise awareness about such an important topic to so many people, such a large audience. But I think you would definitely face some challenges on the way. So what are some of these obstacles?
So when we started in 2013, at that time, there was very little awareness. Organ donation had a very negative connotation with a lot of people still. The press was not covering it like they do now. Social media wasn't so active. Even we weren't on social media till, I think, 2014, 15. So when we used to go somewhere, people used to think that, oh my God, they've come and they're going to make us sign something. They're going to take away the organs from us. I don't know what they were thinking. Of course, we were doing nothing of the sort. We were just going there to talk. So the perception was very negative at the time. So that was a challenge. That has changed now, changed a lot.
Yeah.
Media has got active. Social media has got active. NGOs have got really, really active. And that has changed. Yes, it can change more. It's still a little bit difficult to try and, go into various schools, colleges, and talk about organ donation, but it's improving. I wouldn't say that it is still a challenge, but it's improving. Another challenge is that people feel that they are going to be made to sign something right away, which is not true at all. Mm-hmm. Even if you get a donor card, which we do ask people to, get a donor card, and we issue that on behalf of the government. I mean, we work under the aegis of NATO, which is the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization. And if people sign up for a card, they get a donor card via email. But that doesn't mean that they are automatically organ donors and somebody is going to come and take an organ out of them. It just means that you have made a pledge, and that is what you would like to do. Ultimately, it is up to the family, right? The family of the person who signed up to be an organ donor. When somebody passes away, the family members decide whether the organs are to be donated. The hospital will approach the family members. So the most important thing is for people to talk to their family and tell them, this is what I want. If you don't have a donor card, that's fine. But you need to talk to your family. And that's what people don't understand. So that is sometimes a challenge that people think, yes, it's a great idea. I want to do this and I'll make a donor card. But what they don't understand is that it's not up to them. Ultimately, it's the families or the next of kin, whoever's the next of kin, their decision. And they need to realize that as well. Otherwise, challenges are the usual. Funding is a big issue for NGOs. Nobody wants to give for this. But that I think most NGOs face in any case. And basically people's perception has gone from negative towards positive, but it needs to, swing that way a little more. I think a mass campaign by the government would do the trick as far as that is concerned.
Right. So, as you were saying, there's lots of negative connotations associated with organ donation, and there are lots of misconceptions prevailing in the public. So, how do you think these misconceptions can be removed? And what can we do about them?
I think just like a campaign, a huge campaign like there was for eye donation a decade ago. Also, more talks, more people taking an interest. It's just a matter of, I wouldn't say people have myths, but they definitely have misconceptions, like you said,
Right.
and those can be easily driven away by explaining that what actually happens. So yeah, I think it's all down to awareness. It's not that people don't want to donate; they do. Indians are that way very giving. Concept of daan is very big. And if somebody is asked and they explain that, look, it's after you, it's done, organ donation is done after you're gone. It's not like anyone's taking anything from you before. And there's so many people who are dying and they will die. But with your donation, you can help 8 people live. You can donate all your vital organs to different people and give them new life. And if you tell people that, they are quite okay with the concept of organ donation. So it's just that little gap that's there where they have certain misconceptions, and if those are taken away, then things will be fine.
Definitely. I think awareness and campaigns can really make a big difference and can inspire people to make a big change. So, how can people become organ donors? What's the process like, and who can donate?
So people can become organ donors by filling out a simple pledge form that's on our website. It's on the government website, the NATO website, and they can get their donor card. They'll get it immediately, like within a few weeks on their email. All right. So the main thing about organ donation is not just that you fill in a donor card for eye donation or organ donation or whatever, but that you read up on it, understand how it can happen, when it can happen, and then tell your family about it. Because if you don't tell your family, according to law in India, it is the family who will decide. So the hospital will ask the family members to sign a form for organ donation.
Sure.
So if a family doesn't know about it and you've done this and you've decided, yes, I want to be a donor, then there's no point, right? That discussion has to happen. Also, people have this misconception that they can donate their organs after any kind of death. Okay, so unfortunately, that doesn't happen here. You can only donate your organs if you are declared brain dead. All right. So brain dead means your entire brain is dead, it completely shuts down. But because you're in hospital and you're on a ventilator, your other organs are still functioning for some time only. And that is the time, because since your brain is dead, you are dead, right? You're never going to come back to life, and you're being artificially supported with a ventilator. So that is the time that the hospital declares the death and then speaks to the family. So it's not very straightforward. So if your family knows about it, and they should know about it, this is a possibility, this can happen. And if we are asked, then we should say yes. So that has to happen. Then all your organs can be donated. So you have your heart, liver, 2 kidneys, lungs, pancreas, and small bowel. So all of those organs can be donated. Along with that, your tissues can also be donated. So in tissues comes cornea donation, which we refer to as eye donation. Then skin donation. You can donate your bones. You can donate your heart valves. You can donate your ligaments. So there's a lot in your body. Your body is like a treasure trove, and rather than, just after death, it just gets buried or cremated. You can actually donate a lot of it to help a lot of other people. Also, nowadays, they have a hand donation. India is doing a lot of hand donations. So they do ask for hands for people who've lost both their hands and, don't have much of a life left. So all this thing, I think people should really research more rather than me, giving all this information here. I can just tell you a little bit. Go and, research it, read about it, and then figure out for yourself what it is you want to do. It's not like something that people have to decide right away. They can think about it and then discuss it with their family.
Exactly. So lastly, what would your message be for our viewers?
My message would be that you need to, a lot of people asking why, who cares, why should we do this or whatever. Because just remember that you are more likely to need an organ transplant than you are to actually be a donor, right? There, as Navya said, there are like lakhs of people waiting on the waiting list, and the amount of people donating after they die every year is very low. Last year it was around 1,000, and so you have 5 lakh people waiting, and you only have 1,000 organ donors, from which probably around 3,000 transplants would have been possible. So you need to think about that. You need to think of society as a whole, that, if all of us come forward and say, yeah, okay, we will donate our organs after we're gone, that means the society will become healthy, right? We'll all grow together. So think about it. There's lots of material online. People can go there. They can Google it. They can, follow us on Instagram. They can follow various other pages to keep getting information and find out for yourself whether you think it's a good idea. And if you think it is a good idea, then definitely discuss it with your family, because they are the ones who eventually will enable this donation to happen. So just talk about it, talk to your family, and that's the way to go.
Right. Thank you so much for your insights today, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think this will be really helpful for viewers, and will definitely bring attention to this important topic that people need.
Thank you so much.
If you want to know more about organ donation and want to pledge to be an organ donor, log on to organindia.org to know more. We'll be back with another episode. Thank you.